Hello there. Hopefully I've got sound. I've definitely got picture because I've just been checking my microphone out, even though I am kind of squished in a corner at the moment because we're kind of like redecorating. So every square inch of the house is full of boxes and bags and things and stuff. Yes, we're going to have a bit of a new look a little bit later on in the year, which is going to be good. Hopefully pretty soon. Because it's all down to how quick I can decorate the house, or decorate certainly the attic, because that's going to be my new bedroom, and then the room that we're currently living in or sleeping in is going to be the new podcast room. So it's going to be a little bit more dedicated. We're going to have a little bit more of a professional setup, and I'm not having to kind of hide my way out in the way. And I'm going to have actual cables leading around and get everything sorted. If you are watching now, it means that you've been sat and you've been waiting for your notifications to hit your inbox. And yes, thank you very much indeed for liking and subscribing. Of course, if you are doing so, head to our various social medias and just subscribe away, especially on the YouTube, Englishman SDCC. Or if you're watching on Facebook, tell you what, we follow on this conversation from last week. Where are you watching from? Which platform are you watching on right now? I'd love to know. Just give us a shout and let us know where you're watching from. Are you on Facebook? Are you on Twitter? Are you on the YouTubes? Are you on Twitch? I have very few people watching on Twitch. I'm not going to lie. Even I know that that's a bit of a slim audience. But do let us know where you're watching from. Hello there, Toby. How the devil are you, sir? I've just realized I haven't got my cup of tea with me. I'm going to have to get myself my cup of tea. Toby's saying mostly YouTube. And I can imagine that's probably the best place to go, if anything, because you've got all the way to communicate, of course. You can jump in on the comments. Into the blue, Mr. Hi, folks watching from Wales on YouTube. Old-fashioned, I know. It's not old-fashioned at all. I come home and I watch my YouTubes. I watch the original Drink and Draw, which did Jack Kirby's Heroines this week, which is excellent. I watch Honest Trailer, because Honest Trailer's funny. I watch, what else do I watch? Sorted Food. I've been getting into that. Yeah, I try and catch. That's how I wind down on the end of a day. So there we go. Toby, I'm good. Thank you so much indeed. I'll explain how I'm doing at the moment after the opening trailer, I think, after the opening video. Tell you what, it's the top of the hour. It's 6 o'clock. Let's do this thing. Hello there, everybody. And I've just realized I've not put my cap on either. Oh, you can tell it's been one of those days, one of those weeks. It's been a very strange, very long week. But I'm even ruining the brand. It's not even a cup of tea with an Englishman in San Diego this week. It's a bottle of supermarket brand apple juice. Who is this person I've turned into? I'm making smoothies. What's going on? I don't understand. Listen. This person that's making smoothies and has just signed up for my local gym subscription or health subscription because I want to get back to swimming again. I'd be laughing at this person because That's not me, but apparently it is. Beer, dear me. Welcome along to Talkin Con, a cup of tea with an Englishman in San Diego. It's episode 16. It is the 13th of February, 2022. Welcome along. It's a pleasure to have you here. One or two people are joining us. I know we're probably not going to get as many people joining us as we've had on recent episodes because episodes have had other avenues of spreading the word because, well, we've had guests on. If you caught last week's, by the way, wasn't that just a fun chat? Henry Barajas, if I roll my R's, was very, very good. That was an excellent conversation. If you do get a chance to go back and have a look at that, last week's episode was excellent. Hopefully we'll get Henry back on pretty soon. Other episodes coming up. We're trying to arrange the date. It may be next Sunday. Hopefully we're going to be talking to PJ Holden about his life and work because he's an excellent cartoonist, an illustrator and comics creator. If you get the chance to follow PJ Holden on the old Twitters, by all means do, because he's very, very good indeed. And upcoming guest by all accounts. So fingers crossed we'll be speaking to him because he's got plenty of stuff on the cards. We were talking just before we rolled the credits about stuff that I watch on YouTube. Into the Blue Mister, quite rightly saying, Cartoonist Kayfabe is a cracking YouTube channel. I am going to qualify that. I do enjoy watching that show. And I'm a fan of both of Jim and the other one's work. I just find them sometimes a little too inside baseball. They sometimes, it's almost, I'm not saying that they're gatekeeping, but if you are not a capital C comics, capital F fan, they can sometimes come across as a little intimidating. Still, no, I have no problem with Cartoonist Kayfabe. I also quite like comic tropes. Chris on comic tropes, I quite like. We were talking about podcasts I watch and where people are watching from. Hello there. If you're watching on YouTube, great. If you're watching on Twitter, if you're watching on Facebook, thank you so much indeed for joining us. But on the YouTube, what else do I watch? Original Drink and Draw. Which is a great, very loose and relaxed show. Well worth checking out. Who else do I watch? Yeah, let's jump in with yours. Let's have a bit of a conversation today because this is all about your show today. I'm going to be talking a lot and about upcoming conventions, certainly here in the UK. So the two things that I'm wanting from you in the chat. Number one, then, let's have your recommendations for your podcasts on YouTube or on audio. What are you listening to, especially when it comes to comics and Comic-Cons? I mean, obviously, you're watching this, so you're interested in listening to or at least watching about Comic-Cons. So, what's your shows? What do you wind down on? Let's find out what you're up to. Jump in on the comments, and we'd love to hear what you listen to. Andrew English is joining us. Hello from London. Hello there. Welcome along. Greetings from Toby. Thank you very much indeed for joining us, Toby. And Into the Blue Mister watching from Wales on the YouTube. Listen, thank you so much indeed for joining us for today's show. It is going to be mostly news. It's mostly updates. It's not that we haven't been able to arrange a guest. To be fair, I wasn't entirely sure if I was going to be able to do a show today because I have been, decorating up in the attic. You may remember the attic from previous episodes of Talkin Con. Upstairs, basically, it was a nice little space, but it was very disheveled to the point where now we're decorating. We need to get some new floorboards down in one end. We need to get some painting done, some wallpapering done, some carpets laid, some shelving done up. Basically, everything, which we're currently doing at the moment. But we're then going to be turning our current bedroom, which is a small little box room, into a new podcast room. So yes, that's the plans. I've been stripping paint off wood beams today, and I'm absolutely shattered. I've got dust everywhere, and I wasn't too sure I was going to be able to do this show, but plenty of stuff that we're going to get into, considering that I've got certainly 8 conventions that I want to talk about today. So number one, we want to know about your podcasts that you listen to. Please do jump in and let us know what you listen to or listen and watch to. Toby, one of my favorites on YouTube I watch is a nutty guy named Gray Still Plays. He does great, crazy, goofy things with games like GTA and others. Watching gamers I find difficult. It's the same reason why, I mean, I've got the Oculus. I struggle with social gaming. I never really enjoyed it when they introduced it with Doom and with Quake and stuff. At the end of the day, it's my time, and I want to kind of immerse myself into a world. I don't then just want chatter going on in the background or just getting trolled out. So streaming games, especially when it comes to social games, it's just not my bag. But Toby, all power to you. If I'll have to check him out. I mean, at the end of the day, it says it does crazy, goofy things. That's my wheelhouse. I'm okay with that, so we'll give it a go. So let's just make Parks and Cons. Oh yeah, those guys, they know what they're doing, don't they? They've been in the game long enough, and they're absolutely fantastic to watch. Let's have a look at this. Into the Blue Mist. I like my action figures too. The Foosh Weekly is always a good watch. Okay. Might have to just check that one out, see what that's all about. That's a new name. So there we go. So Andrew English, I listened to Bolt Matrix for Transformer News and Englishman in San Diego for Con News. Thank you so much. Much appreciated. Into the Blue Mist. Today, Toby, I watched Gray Still Plays literally 5 minutes before coming on here. The one where he skydives from the sun. Okay, now I'm just curious. You say things like that. I'm curious as to what that's all about. And also, Toby says, comic book wise, I watch a couple of channels that deals with the Star Wars comics. There's a Star Wars comics podcast. You are going to have to share with me the link for that because if there's a run of comics I'm interested in, it's the Marvel Star Wars one. So please, yeah, let us know what that's all about because I'll be curious about that. That'd be cute. That'd be cool. Okay, we've also got Clydine Nee who's joining us as well. Clydine, thank you very much for joining us. With your little effort in April is going to be the second thing we're going to be talking about today. So yeah, do stick around. You can correct me on any information that I pass out. So yes, basically it is going to be more news today. We're going to be talking about everything that's coming up with a whole bunch of conventions. But I'm not going to lie, all bar one, it's UK based. So if you've got a US show that you're heading to in the next couple of months that you want to spread the word about, if there's something that you're heading to, jump in. Let us know what you're going to. Let us know if there's a show, certainly if you're watching from the US, that you're heading to in the next couple of months, and if there's any special guests that's particularly catching your attention, and we'll do a bit of a search online, find it, and we'll throw it up on the screen. So there we go. Indeed. Right. So what we've got is a couple of conventions, a couple of them which I am attending for sure, and a couple which I'm split about, and you may have to help me out with it. So let's see what we start with it. So first and foremost, let's start with the first show that's coming up, and it's, to be honest, it's not that far away. It's the 26th to the 27th. It's February, so in 2 weeks' time, we've got ourselves a show which is London Film Comic-Con. Let's bring up some more info about that, because, like I say, there's so much when it comes to this particular show. Look, you know, I will bring it up, I swear. That's what I'm looking for. I thought I'd put these in order, but clearly I didn't. The thing about this particular show is there's been a bunch of comic creators that have been invited to it. So this is proving to be a very exciting show indeed. 26th to 27th of February, London Comic-Con, organised by Showmasters and being held at the Olympia in London. And like I say, a whole bunch of guests that have been put forward, including we've got ourselves a whole bunch from the world of film and television, and Richard E. Grant, Jodie Whittaker, Brian Cox, some great names in here. Bernard Cribbins, I've been saying it more and more recently, meet your heroes and meet them before we are unable to meet them again. At the end of the day, Bernard Cribbins is going to be seeing a few less sunrises than he is in years gone by. So now's the time to see him. Go up and show your appreciation to his work. We've got Chloe Annette as well from Red Dwarf. A whole bunch of Red Dwarf people are showing up at this particular event. And also a couple of personal favourites for myself. Lizette Anthony, I'm a particular fan of as well. Francis Barber, bit decisive when it comes to, or divisive when it comes to the old Comic-Con, Twitter, sorry. But I happen to be a fan. We've got ourselves a whole bunch of Star Wars and Star Trek people as well. Yeah, and now we start hitting our comics guests. Now, the thing about these are, a bunch of them that spread the word that they are going to be showing up at London Comic-Con this week. So that's the reason why I'm kind of doing these news ones now. Jessica Martin, who is a great autobiographical comic creator. She's a voice actor. She's done some work for Doctor Who and live action act as well. But she's gotten into her comics in terms of doing some great self-published stuff, some amazing created work. Jessica Martin, I'm a big fan of. David Leitch, who's the one of the editors for Titan Comics. He's a comic creator, cartoonist, illustrator. He's also one of the guys behind the Blade Runner titles for Titan. I'm a huge fan of David's work. Always good to see him in person when I get the chance as well. Ryan Hughes, whose Kickstarter is still kicking about at the moment, which is Rocket Ships and Spacemen, I believe, which is all about pulp sci-fi covers. My wheelhouse. So no, he's doing a great a run on that at the moment. Ryan Hughes is also a logo creator. He does fonts design, interior design. He designed pretty much every major decent funny comic book that you know of. So yeah, he's a hell of a talent. Ryan Hughes is going to London, as is Rachel Smith, who announced on her social media this week as well. That is proving to be a nice, tidy little comics setup. Roger Langridge is going. Mike Perkins is going. John McCrae, hopefully he's feeling better, and he's going to be going. Simon Furman, Nigel Parkinson. Yeah, some great talent, and that's shaping up to be a really nice artist alley. I missed a name out at the top. That was Tim Pilcher. He's actually the person that's organizing and coordinating the talent this year. So yeah, looking to be a really interesting show. No panels at this particular event, but they're going to be saving that for a little bit later on in the year, when I think it's about 2 weeks before San Diego Comic-Con. So like the first week in July is when London Comic-Con in summer is taking place. Yeah, the hope is that I'm going to be there hosting panels. So yeah, looking forward to that. So far, though, the spring lineup is looking very tasty indeed. London Comic Con Spring.com for more information. Absolutely well worth checking out. Let's see what we've got in the way of comments. Clydine Nee, I submitted a panel form for UFO. Yeah, I suspected you would do. I know that's something that you're a big fan of, or it's something that interests and intrigues you. So yeah, I can totally understand that you've done that. Let's see what we got here. Toby is talking about some YouTube stuff to check out. Looking for a channel called Star Wars Comics. I should have thought of that, really, shouldn't I? If we were talking about stuff, yeah, Star Wars comics. Yeah, that's what I should have thought of. So no, I will have a look at that. What else have we got? We've got ourselves. Solicitor Smeg. Don't worry, that I'm not going to bring your comment out just yet. That's the next thing we're going to talk about. Star Wars Theory is another one. There are many that are out there, but be careful of bait titles. You can almost avoid them. Almost can't avoid them, I think, is what Toby's trying to say there. And I am very selective when it comes to anything related to Star Wars online, when it comes to podcasts, if anything, because it's just so full of negativity. The Star Wars fandom online, and I'll make that distinction clear, is particularly polarizing and rather toxic. I'm very wary about following any kind of news or podcasts when it comes to Star Wars. That's the reason why I was interested about Star Wars comics. That I could go with. But the films themselves, they just end up, it just turns into a bit of a shouting match most of the time. And I struggle with that. So, yeah. But no, I'll definitely give it a go and check that out. Thank you very much indeed for your suggestions. Keep them coming in. YouTube shows, audio podcasts, where do you listen to when it comes to comics news or comics updates? There's a one that I mentioned online, which I'm really upset that it doesn't run anymore, which was Jason Latour's The Drawl. He got himself a couple of GoPros, stuck them up on stands, got some mics, and interviewed some of the best people in comics. It hasn't run for about 8-9 months. If you get the chance, if you go to YouTube and search for The Drawl, Jason Latour, check that out. That is well worth checking it. It's a cracking show, and it's just a shame that he kind of stopped doing it. But there we go. Right, let's go to our next story. Then it is as we've got Toby is talking about. Okay. I may have to just take a little bit of a distraction because my cat is now in the room. So I need to sort him out very shortly indeed. But let's bring up this information then about Wondercon. Yes, just like Solicitor Smeg has commented, still no tickets for Wondercon. I'm not worried at all. I said in a tweet, and I said last week, just be thinking that the information for Wondercon is going to come thick and fast and in a very short window of time. Okay, Wondercon. Let's bring up the information for this. It's it's shaping up. It's getting there. It's just taking its time. They haven't released anything about badge sales, but they have done a sneak peek when it comes to some guests and some great names involved as well. Shannon Hale, which is an incredible genre writer. David A. Robertson, a fantastic illustrator and author of books and graphic novels, including When We Were Alone, which was Canada's 2017 Governor-General's Literary Award winner. James Rollins, #1 New York Times best-selling author of the Sigma Force series, a bunch of other books as well, including the novelization of Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Someone had to write it. Trung Le Nguyen is just a legend when it comes to comics. 2 Harvey Award-winning awards and also a nomination for the 21 Eisner as well. Scotty Young is, of course, someone that is a fan, a friend of this particular show. Yeah, excellent stuff indeed. It's great to have these guests being posted. Admittedly, they've posted them to the main page. To the Toucan page. So this here is the Toucan page, and it doesn't have anything in terms of the actual details for Wondercon. Doesn't talk about the day it's running. And if you go to the Wondercon home page, the last update for Wondercon is there, 26th of the 3rd, 2021, and that was Wondercon at home. It's there in the banner, Wondercon 22, April 1st to the 3rd. is it me, or does it just seem like they could do with just streamlining their information and just getting things out a little bit more smoothly? It's just such a shame. But there we go. Now then, who else have we got? Toby is talking about. You'll find one guy named Mike Zero. He's a flaky, in my opinion, does mostly behind the scenes at Lucasfilm, and as such, his title's baity. This is regarding the Star Wars podcast. Absolutely understand that. Okay. Like I say, the Wondercon information, it's difficult to keep a track on it, if anything, because they are taking their time with getting any information out, especially when it comes to badge and for hotel sales. The only thing I can recommend is just keep your eyes on your inbox, especially this week. Like I say, I think it's going to happen quickly and in quick order. So this is a sneak peek. I think we're going to be getting some more in terms of the official guests and also all your badge sales very soon indeed. This is, I mean, it's CCI. And usually when they get things rolling, it's a case of get the ball rolling and carry the momentum. So this is it. This is the start of the ball rolling for Wondercon. Keep your eyes open. Of course, comic-con.org/WCA, which is all your information. It is Wondercon, which is taking place April the 1st to the 3rd. Very soon indeed. Right, if you could bear with me a second, I am going to quickly sort out my cat, who is now really wanting to leave the room. Bear with me a second. Oh, yes, you. Come on. Out you go. Typical. There we go. And we're back. All right. Hello, everyone. Hello, Leanne. How the devil are you? Hopefully you're feeling better. Hopefully you're in fine form as well. So that's WonderCon taking place on the 1st and 3rd of April. However, my attention is going to be slightly distracted that particular weekend because I am going to be at Telford, the Wales Comic-Con edition, which is taking place on the same weekend. It's not running for 3 days like WonderCon is. It's running on the Saturday and the Sunday, which is the 2nd and 3rd of April. But they've got themselves some cracking guests, including one or two things that have been announced this weekend. So let's very quickly crack through one or two of these. This is walescomiccon.com/guests, and yet some fantastic guests that they've got lined up, including this guy, Andy Circus, of course, famous from King Kong, from Lord of the Rings, from the Avengers, from as a director of the live-action Jungle Book, director of what else? He directed a couple of indie films as well, and indeed starred as Ian Dury in a very, very good autobiographical film about Ian Dury. I think he toured with the Blockheads for a couple of months. The man embodied Ian Dury for a while. Now, it's been shared on the social media by Wales Comic-Con organisers that the third and more than likely final photo ops opportunity to meet and greet with Andy Circus. I believe it's online right now. So if you are heading to Wales Comic-Con, if you're heading to Telford, now is the time to head to walescomiccon.com and find out more about Andy Circus and his photo booths. It's only happening on the Sunday. It's the only chance you're going to get a chance to meet him, unfortunately. But that's the place to go if you're wanting to get your photo ops. Like I say, third and final chance to get those purchased if you are intending to head to Telford in not that long to go. We're talking 2nd and 3rd of April, so another 3 weeks, if that. Who else have we got? Now the thing is, it is the I can just flip through there. Excellent. I can just go through that. Don't have to just keep stopping it. There are a couple of guests on here which as well have gotten my attention. Judy Benz, Kevin Conroy. Great to see him back in the country. John Glover coming over. David Bradley. Once again, Wales Comic-Con are absolutely doing their best to pull everyone and anyone of all kinds of genres, including your Star Wars, your Star Trek, and your Doctor Who and your Lord of the Ring fans. Jed Brovey, Craig Parker, Salah Baker, all kind of coming over and making an impression. But it is the comics fans that I'm, the comic creators that I'm interested in, of course. And there's a couple of, I believe, additions that have just been added. Mike Perkins, the artist on the current Swamp Thing iteration, legendary comic creator as well. He's doing his bits and pieces to Wales. And Rich Perotta is going to be attending. I think it's going to be the first time that he's going to be attending at Wales. So looking forward to seeing him there. In fact, I think a couple of these, it's going to be their first time. John McCrae, I believe it's his first. And Staz Johnson is his first time as well. They're doing their best to absolutely ramp up the comics creators at Wales Comic-Con. So if that's something that interests you, tickets are on sale right now. That is Wales Comic-Con, comiccon.com. Find out more about that. That's the 2nd and 3rd of April. Okay, let's see. Anyone's kind of jumping in. Clydeen, yeah, cats rule the internet, don't they just? It's all about priorities, as Sumo says. Great guest for Wales Comic-Con, isn't it just? It's very, very impressive indeed. Once again, though, a lot of these shows which I'm talking about is English-based. So please, if you've got any guests that you are interested going to see, if you're one of our American friends, do let us know if there's an American con that you're attending that we may want to kind of spread some word about here on the show. I know that Comic-Con Revolution, they keep tagging me into posts, and their guest list is shaping up very nicely indeed. If you want to find out more about them and what their show is getting up to. But yeah, do let us know if there's any American shows in the comments, and I will see if I can search it and put it up on the on this old screen. So yeah, that's a great guest list for the first week in April. I will be at Telford hosting on the live lounge stage. So yeah, maybe speaking to a bunch of these. Hopefully, you'll get them on the old couch and get them on the screen. So from April, let's go to May and another clash. This time it is very much the big boy versus the small. It's David versus Goliath. Let's look to Goliath first. It is MCM Comic-Con London, which is returning to the XL in London on the 27th to the 29th of May 2022. And MCM still with Repop for now. We'll see how long that lasts, but for now that does give a lot of muscle for MCM to bring in some great guests, which is where I think it's only fair that we dive to the guest section and see who's being lined out. I know that panel applications are still up and running. Oh no, have we not got any guests yet? I thought we had some guests already arrived. Yes, but okay. So creator passes are available, press passes are open. Panel applications, Artist Alley applications. I know that Rachel Smith has been accepted to go to MCM Comic-Con again, as has Mike Perkins. So, yeah, they're going to start ramping up their iteration for the 27th, 28th, and 9th of May. That's MCM London Comic-Con. However, while they may not have any guests kicking around just yet, lawlesscomiccon.co.uk definitely has. This is being held at the Doubletree by Hilton in Bristol. It's a slightly smaller event, but my word, who they have got guests lined up is very impressive indeed. Tickets are on sale right now. And yeah, they are back. It's sponsored by the 77, which is an independent comic publisher, doing some great stuff when it comes to their Kickstarters as well. They're going to be showcasing not only 77, but the show itself is also going to be doing its best to highlight some of the best in UK talent and small press. It really is something very impressive to see. So let's see if I can kind of show you the kind of thing that people can check out. Let's get that loaded up. Here we go. This is Lawless Comic-Con. And my word, the guest list so far, considering that we, like I say, this is May, and apparently they've still got some names still to come. check this little lot out. This is going to be held in one hotel, and you are going to have the likes of John Wagner, McMahon, Jock, Brian Boland, Lou Stringer, Steve McManus, Lee Carter, Dan Cornwell, Keck W., Dave Kendall, Sally Jane Hurst, Kev Crossley, Paul Goodenough, Mike Dory, David Roach, John Higgins, Glenn Fabry, Karen Holloway, Simon Davis, Boo Cook, Tom Eglinton, Clint Langley, Stephen Austin, Eric Peterson, Ian Richardson, Anna Morosofa, Jim Campbell, John Charles, and Abigail Bulmer. There are a couple of names on there which, my word, have my attention in a big way. Jock, of course, is someone whose talent always interests, and I've got still piles of books to get signed by him. John Wagner, who I'm very happy to now call a friend. He is just a joy to get the chance to speak to. Mick McMahon as well. Brian Boland, who I have not seen in person. I've not met the man. I've got a fair few of books of his that I would like to get signed as well, including my copy of Killing Joke, if you don't mind. Yeah, my God, that's a list and a half. Glenn Fabry. I think I've still got a John Higgins book, which I think I've still got a copy of Watchmen that still needs signing by John. Or is it the Watching the Watchmen? Either way, this is a show and a half. Yeah, Into the Blue Mister. The clue for Bolland will wrap around the hotel several times. No word of a lie on that. If I get the chat... No, okay. So here's the thing. I have been asked if I would like to host panels at Mcm Comic-Con in London, or at least attend it as a guest. And so basically just rock up and be a guest on a panel. That's the plan. But like I say, this is the 27th to the 28th of May. That's Thursday through to Sunday. Lawless Comic-Con, it's 2 days. It's the 28th to the 29th. And again, I have been offered to host panels. So I would be the panel host for this particular show. Look at on the guest list. I think I may just have to go for this. I think you may be seeing me at Lawless Comic-Con because, my word, that is a serious, serious show. That's something else. Yeah, I'm very much up for this. If you're going to see me, you will see me at one of those two shows, and I suspect Lawless Comic-Con is going to be the one that I'm going to be checking out, because that is very, very impressive indeed. Something very, very cool. Let's have a look at this. Do it. Yes, I know. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Clyde Nee, I bought my tickets to Comic Fest. Good. I don't understand why you're not on a panel or something, or why you're not being invited as a special guest. Frankly, you should have a word with Matt about that, Mr. Dumford, and get that sorted out, because, yeah, come on. I mean, you're not exactly an unknown quantity. What on earth are you doing buying tickets for a convention in San Diego, for heaven's sake, Clyde? So there we go. Into the Blue Mister, as an old school 2000 AD fan, I'd have to pick Lawless. Yeah, I think you're right. Like I say, that poster there was only revealed something like 7 hours ago. So I got asked if I wanted to be a panel host, I believe on Friday, and I was going, let's go 60% that I'll go do it. I'll pencil me in. That list right there has just pretty much nailed that down. So no, I am up for that. Very, very cool. Let's have a look at this. I pitched a panel, but I want support by buying a ticket. Clydine, you are a scholar and a gentlewoman. So yes, well done to you. Excellent stuff indeed. Right, I'm going to pull up a page from a website which, if you are wanting to follow UK convention news and UK small press, British comics and small press, I'd highly recommend you following this site because it's well worth checking out. It's I believe it was the winner of the best comics related website at the Tripwire Awards last year, and it is downthetubes.net. The reason why I'm bringing it up is because of a whole bunch of information that has been posted about Tripwire presents Bristol Comic-Con, taking place on the 3rd to the 4th of September, and actually is happening in the same hotel as Lawless, which is the DoubleTree in Bristol. So yeah, a whole bunch of guests that have been announced, but this time they've got a whole bunch that are coming over from the other side of the pond as well. Let's go through the ones that we've got on screen right now. Amanda Connor and Jimmy Palmiotti are both coming over. Excellent stuff indeed. Mike Collins, who's a legend. Shaky Kane, who's doing some incredible work at the moment. Do check out his work. Carlos Pacquiao and Gary Pollard. Now, there are a couple of names here who I'm not entirely familiar with. Carlos Pacquiao, he's done work on X-Men and Aerosmith, which is coming back this year at Image. Yeah, I'm going to have to do a bit of research into Carlos. If anybody is a fan, tell us any of things that I need to be heading to. Tell me which books I need to be looking at. Gary Pollard is a special effects wizard, worked on shows like Doctor Who and Krypton and films like The Mummy. So there you go. That's what they've got so far. But, or should I say, those are the ones that were announced this week. Considering that Tripwire Comic-Con, if you head to Tripwire Comic-Cons, plural, which is ambitious, they've got obviously some other guests lined up or other shows lined up. So who knows? DoubleTree at Hilton in Bristol, 3rd to the 4th September 2022. Let's have a look at the guest list then, because we do have the likes. Like I say, the ones that we've got announced so far: Jimmy Palmiotti, Mike Collins, Amanda Connor, Cavan Scott, always worth checking out. But then you've got the likes of Brian Selfries, Elena Casagrande, Howard Chaikin, Gary Erskine, Jock, and Lisa Hawkins, who's a Valiant senior editor. Yeah, that's a cracking lineup to start with. Joel is doing his best to continue to add to that roster, I know. So do keep your eyes and ears open as he does more of that. And I believe that Joel will be coming on the show in the next sort of month or so, because he wants to talk more about the show. Into the Blue Mister. Aerosmith is a beautifully illustrated and well-written book. Think World War One with magic. Okay, you've got me sold. I'll give that a go. Carlos Pacquiao. Yeah, I'll give that a blast, and we'll see what that looks like. Thank you very much indeed for the recommendation, sir. Okay, so that is Bristol. Last bit of news that has come out of conventions over the course of the last couple of days. Then we have ourselves officially the dates for Thought Bubble 2022. We've also got some new artwork as well. But my word, I mean, not only does the artwork look fantastic, I'll see if I can bring it up in a second. In fact, I think I might. If you go to comicartfestival.com, all the information is there. Rachel Smith, yay! My missus has got that t-shirt. It's taking place in Bowness on Windermere. It's actually moving from Kendal this year. We've talked about this, but until I actually get there and see what the location is like, I've got local people in the local area who've just turned around and said that it's a lot better. It's a lot more easier laid out. You don't have all the kerfuffle of moving around the town of Kendal. It's easy to get to. We'll find out 14th, 16th of October. But like I say, there's a cracking lineup of guests that have been announced as of this week. So tell you what, let's pull up a couple of things, because Lakes, like I say, have got themselves some a fantastic poster that they've put out. So let me just see if I can bring this up on screen. This has been put together by Sean Phillips. And this is going to be available, I have been told, as a print. So my word, am I going to be getting my hands on this one if I get the chance. It is, look at this thing. That's beautiful. You got Galactus up there in the clouds. You got the Silver Surfer buzzing over Lake Windermere. Doesn't look good for the Lake District, does it? It's going to get become. You're going to need a toothpick to get that one out, mate. But that's the artwork that's being put together. I believe that's Sean Phillips, but that's stunning. You could tell I've got a bit of dust in my lungs now. Ah, dear me. Great piece of artwork. That's the official poster art for Lakes Comic Art Festival 2022. So let's quickly cover then the guest list of the show. Bill Morrison is going to be heading to the show. Bill, I don't think looks like that anymore. I think he's a little bit more grey around the temples. So that's a couple of years old, is that photo. But he is attending the show, and that's going to be well worth checking out, because what they've got lined up. Let's just see if I can. Yeah, here we go. So Bill Morrison is one. Also, they have got themselves a couple of guests that were lined up to attend the last live IRL Lakes International Comic Art Festival. But obviously, when the show got postponed, thankfully, the guests have turned around and said that they will still support the show and come back. Greg Rucker is all lined up for heading to Kendal, as is Michael Lark, Greg's partner in crime. I believe. Let me just see if I can. Bear with me a second. Let me just see if I can bring up some information about that. Because there's some guests, it's got to be said, that have, again, a little bit like before, a little bit behind on a couple of information when it comes to some of these. But the rest are just legends. So it's great to have them kind of showing their face. Jamie Hernandez is the one that is on screen right now. We've got ourselves some more coming up. Yeah, Jamie Hernandez is that. That's right. Katie Skelly, who is she's a Los Angeles-based artist writer. She's done books like Queen of the Ring, Nurse. She's done Twisted Romance, and she's also a writer for the Comics Journal as well. So that's where I know her from. Yeah, well worth seeing what Katie brings to the show. Michael Lark, like I say, the partner in crime for Greg Rucker on these Lazarus books. He's a great comic illustrator. Someone else you need to check out on Twitter as well, because he likes to post process videos of his work. Well worth checking out. Mike Perkins, he's steadily becoming a bit ubiquitous around shows, but the man's a legend, and any chance you get to see his work is well worth checking out. Posey Simmons, who is a legendary cartoonist here in the UK. Over 50 years, she's done strips for The Guardian, for other newspapers as well. And she's also published books from her comic strips as well, including Mrs. Webber's Diary, Literary Life Revisited, and she's also done Tamara Drew, which has actually been turned into a film, believe it or not, if you ever look through. So do check out and find out more about her. Ram V, who's been on the show before and is just one of the up-and-coming talents. If you've not read his Swamp Thing run with Mike Perkins, my word, he delves into some very dark corners, does Ram, which I don't understand considering he's such a nice guy. But his brain is lightning fast. Very, very clever and talented bloke indeed. Rebecca Ollerton, who's going to be attending. Sean Phillips, there you go. The Twins cartoon. Now, these are two, I believe they're Mexican. The Egyptian, tell a lie. And yeah, they've done independent, and they've also done the bringing together of a community of artists, which is in an initiative, which is nearly 2,000 active members, all independent young artists. These are inspirational guys, comic artists and cultural managers, it says on the website. And yeah, I'd go along with that if you get the chance to find out more about the Kawab Al-Resa Amin initiative, which is a community of nearly 2,000 active members. Excellent stuff indeed. And that's what they've got lined up for Lakes so far. Yeah, a cracking collection of talent if you get the chance to attend this year. Now, let's see what I'm doing here. Get myself back into that. Sorted. Okay. Let's see what else we got. A couple of bits, pieces who I've missed. Leandy's talking about that poster for Lakes. Yeah, isn't it something else? Into the Blue Mist. I love that artwork. It looks like a 2030s railway poster. Let me just, I'm going to bring it back up on screen because it's just gorgeous to look at, isn't it? Let's go for that and bring this up on screen. I mean, they turned around and said on the their social media, are they going to be releasing it as a print? And they said yes. And I'm sorry, but if that's the case, then I'm owning one of these. It's just happening. It's just the way it is. Looks gorgeous, doesn't it? Reminds me of the old train posters of the Western US, says Leandy. Absolutely. Let's have a look at this. Aaron Neighbors. Just a reminder, Black Comics Day makes its return to the World Beat Center at Balboa Park in San Diego for a 2-day event that is free. That's the Saturday, the 19th of February and the 20th of February as well. So next weekend, do check that out. That's Black Comics Day at the World Beat Center at Balboa Park. There you go, Clyde Neat. Thanks, Aaron. We'll let people know about Black Comics Day. Absolutely, Leandy. Aaron Neighbors, wish I could come out for that, she says. Okay. And Aaron is also going to be moderating a panel at 1 p.m. on the Saturday. So if you are heading to Black Comics Day, you'll be able to see Aaron there. And he's going to be on stage and looking for that. Excellent stuff. One or two people are asking about WonderCon, the Glidine, saying, Andrew, are you coming out for the show? And Andrew is saying, waiting for ticket to go on sale before I plan anything. And that I completely understand. We need more information from CCI. But like I say, I think it's going to be more of, let's just get the ball rolling, which we have kind of already started with the sneak peek of special guests. Let's see if they can continue with that kind of motivation. And not least, we've got one more show to talk about, and it is Thought Bubble. Thought Bubble have announced. Hang on, is it Thought Bubble I need to speak about? It is Thought Bubble. So Lakes have announced theirs. That's the 14th to the 16th of October. Thought Bubble. They are going to be returning to the Harrogate Convention Centre on the 12th to the 13th of November. Now, don't forget, Thought Bubble is not just the convention. It's also a full-blown festival that runs throughout the course of the week prior. So you basically get to see some amazing presentations running throughout the course of the 7th to the 13th. The 12th and 13th at the Harrogate Convention Centre. Tickets are now on sale. It's a pretty big show, and let's be fair, it's not it's some amazing guests as well, which have been announced already. So let's go to the ones that have been announced. It is Gail Simone, G. Willow Wilson, Christian Ward, Magdalene Visaggio, David Aja, and Gail Simone, which is just a cracking first introduction, first sort of like salvo. Raphael Albuquerque, do apologize. It's a great first salvo, especially for international guests. It's great to get the chance to meet David Aja again. Gail Simone, great to have her over in the UK. And I've got myself a fair few Raphael Albuquerque books, which I wouldn't mind getting signed as well. So that's going to be quite a busy table as well. It's looking like it's going to be an amazing show again, and they're wanting to come out nice and strong. There was one guest that was that's it, by the way. They haven't announced anything else apart from, and for some reason they don't have it there, so I may have to pull up the Thought Bubble Twitter so I can show you the artwork for this year, which is just gorgeous. It's just a beautiful piece of work. Can I find it? No, I think I know why as well. I think they cancelled. Oh no, they didn't. It's here. It's here. This is a I believe he's Russian. I'd have to check where he's from, but basically they've commissioned this guy. It's Yak Yours is the guy's name. And it's this beautiful artwork, which is the new. It looks like Bowie. It looks like Bowie. Yeah, that's a cracking piece of artwork. That's the official artwork then for this year's Thought Bubble Festival. And yeah, do head to comicartfestival.com for more information about this show. Leandy, I would drag my David Aja books across the pond for that. Yeah. Leandy, looks like I'm going to have to come back for Thought Bubble. Now, listen, we'll have you any day. We'd love to have back. And tell you what, don't even book a hotel either. Stay at ours. We'll have a spare bedroom for you now. So, yeah, come over. But isn't that beautiful? Isn't that amazing? Like I say, a cracking lineup which has been announced for this show. Yeah, it wasn't the only name that was announced, though. And the timing was so unfortunate. It was so unfortunate. A gentleman who has been known not only for his talent, but his generosity, his goodwill, his sense of humor. It was just a shame that once they got everything posted up about Thought Bubble, it was going to be their big coming out. Let's get back out and show what we're up to and what we're getting our head around. One of the names that was put onto the screen and onto the poster was that of legendary 2000 AD and UK comic artist Ian Kennedy. He passed at the age of 89, and his career speaks for itself. Started out as a teen, working for DC Thompson, inking out the crossword puzzles. He then graduated into doing work for books like Bunty, for Commando, for Action. Pretty much every major comic being published in the UK in the 60s and 70s. Known for his beautiful painterly style, his ink work, his watercolor work is just sublime. It's not so much a shame because he did retire. In the 80s, he moved and he evolved his artwork, doing work for 2000 AD and also the Eagle relaunch in the 1980s when I got to get introduced to Ian's work, because I bought the Eagle off the bat. It was Star-Lord featuring Eagle, and then the Eagle came out, and he did a retelling or the reboot of Dan Dare, and it was just beautiful. It was timeless and classic and classy, and it didn't look like comics. It looked like art, which for a young lad such as myself, the two weren't the same, obviously. He certainly now has a more established and more aware grown-up. I realise that comics are art as well. But no, the style that he put on paper was just beautiful. He retired, like I say, from comics, but there was Steve Tanner from Time Bomb Comics, and also the organizer of Dunfermline. I believe it was Dunfermline. It was either Dunfermline or Glasgow Comic-Con. Got in touch with Ian through a mutual friend, and apparently Ian was shocked that somebody wanted to speak to him and have him at a convention, and was just really surprised because he had not been invited to a Comic-Con outside of Scotland. So it was just such a surprise. He was so happy to get the opportunity to attend other shows, and there he develops a whole new audience because, like I say, people just recognized and understood exactly the talent that he had, and he was just so grateful to be there, and he was a joy to talk to. I got to speak to him a couple of times. It's just a shame that I'm not going to be able to see him again. Ian Kennedy, our thoughts go to his family, his friends, and his many, many, many fans. 2000 AD artist, comic legend Ian Kennedy, who passed away this week at 89. Into the Blue Mister, I've been looking at the Ian Kennedy commissions on the 2000 AD original artwork page, and some of the work is astonishing. No one could draw a plane like him. His World War II stuff was beautiful. That was the one area of comics I skipped. I didn't do the war comic. I didn't do action. If I did action, it was because I was reading things like Lockjaw, or Harlem Heroes or something like that. I didn't read it for the war stuff. But it's when you then look at, like I say, the revamp of Dan Dare, which looked like a war comic, but just had a green-headed baddie and had spaceships that looked like fighter planes. Just amazing stuff. Just absolutely amazing. If you can get the chance to look back at his stuff and just celebrate the man's life and work, please do. That's Ian Kennedy, who passed away this week. So there we go. I think that's pretty much us. We kind of stopped having chats about other shows that you're going to. What shows are you heading to? If you're watching from the US, what other shows are you heading to? There's a couple. I mean, I'd like to find out more about. I'd like to know certainly about more East Coast shows. I'd like to find out because it does seem like that the momentum of comic conventions, while over here in the UK it's starting to get back up to speed, in the US it doesn't seem to be back up there yet. It needs more momentum. So yeah, do let us know. Like I say though, I mean, the one that everyone, you know what, back when shows were at full strength, people were waiting for Wondercon. So who knows, maybe that is what everyone's waiting for. They're just waiting for Wondercon to lead the way, open the doors, get people back out there, and then let's get the up and running for everybody heading back to conventions again. We've got Wales Comic-Con still announcing bits and pieces. They've just announced, who have we got here? Ken Foray from Dawn of the Dead, Devil's Rejects, and Halloween, the remake. He's going to be coming, and let's see if we've got anybody else. I've got to just keep my eyes open. That's the thing. There's so much news, and it's all happening at the moment. But yes, certainly for Wales Comic-Con, it's the third and likely final batch of autographs for Andy Circus just on the Sunday. Do head to walescomiccon.com for more information about that. Okay, that's us. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. It's been a lot of me talking. I appreciate that. But thank you very much indeed for bearing with us. It's been a lot of news that we've been putting forward, and hopefully, so there's been some exciting stuff there that's kind of piqued your interest about heading back out to shows. Hopefully, I get to see you at Lawless. Hopefully, I get to see you at Wales Comic-Con Telford. Hopefully, I'll see you at Lakes. Hopefully, I'll see you at Thorwald, because those shows I'm heading to. And I think I've just talked myself into I'm going to Lawless this year. So I'm going to have to speak to them and see if they can put me up in a nice hotel and go talk to some amazing people and see if I can find out which hotel room Brian Bollard's in and just cut the queue. All right. That's pretty much us for the day. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. See you next week. Aaron Neighbours saying hi. Thank you very much indeed. Andrew English, see you next week. Andrew, I know you're pretty much heading off back onto your travels again. Enjoy your cons. Enjoy getting out there. Leanne D, have a great rest for your weekend. And to the Blue Mr. Great show, Leonard. Hey, listen, you know what? It's been good to get the news back out. It's been good to do the news again. So I think we're going to have to remind myself to just get some more news because it's starting to happen again. We've got all this stuff coming out. At some point, I am wanting to roll out the road to Comic-Con. Because, well, San Diego Comic-Con in July. If Wondercon's happening, which it is, by the looks of things, it's got special guests and everything. If Wondercon's happening, San Diego Comic-Con's happening. And if San Diego Comic-Con's happening, I'll see you in July. From me to you, take care. Next week, fingers crossed, we'll be speaking to PJ Holden as our special guest on next week's Talkin Con, a cup of tea with English San Diego. From me to you, I'll hopefully see you 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. East GMT next Sunday. I'm off to bed. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.